Okay, welcome back to It Tastes Like Burning, this Matt.
This is Jesse.
And as per the usual, we have an exciting loaded show for you. Not only loaded show, but perhaps loaded guest and speakers. By guest, I mean speakers. Anyways, if you ever feel like reaching out to us, you can find us on ittasteslikeburningcast at gmail.com. Always support us if you have the opportunity with a like, click, or subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. On YouTube at It Tastes Like Burning Cast. You can support us on Patreon at It Tastes Like Burning Cast, and you can purchase some pretty sweet drinking devices and physical body washing devices and a whole bunch of other stuff on our merch store. Where would you find that?
That's in the Printify store. Link is in the description as always on all these episodes. Like, there's some really nice baseball caps. Like, I've been trying to highlight some different items here periodically, and I'll post some stuff on the socials about what we've got, different things. We've got some really nice baseball caps, and
Okay.
the logo cap, trucker style, kind of off-centered logo, and they look nice. And would love to see some folks out there in the wild wearing some of them. So jump on there, go down in the doobly-doo, right? And click that link and get you a cap, right?
Down there by the tender fiddly bits.
No, but
No?
no, I think that's a different thing.
Different high school.
That's only on our OF account, but uh and let us know. Like, let us know where else we can post some of this stuff.
So we were pounding away and we were actually having like the perfect podcast discussion and episode, and we realized that we were 3.5 hours into it and we probably should segue into actually
hitting
starting
record.
the physical podcast. So what we had today is we had our SFFMA District 16 spring meeting. And Jesse, what class did you teach?
I teach a fire department marketing and social media class. I co-teach it with the marketing director for the State Firemen and Fire Marshal Association of Texas. Her name is Kim. She's been on the show. If you go back through the long list of episodes and you find the one that's called Throw Pasta on the Wall, because that's what she named that episode, she's on there. And Kim's an awesome person, right? Kim brings a lot to the table in the world of just social media marketing, knowledge, expertise. I'm truly I'm the run of the litter in that class we teach, right? My knowledge is not near as in depth, and mine is firsthand knowledge. Hers is a lot of education, a lot of firsthand knowledge. And so it works well. We play well together. We have an absolute blast doing this class. And it's one of those things that just nobody up until us, I think, has actually thought about this.
So is the class available online?
Nope.
How do you find the class then?
So the class is available to member departments and members of the State Firemen Fire Marshal Association of Texas.
Okay.
We are a traveling class. We go to you, right? Currently we have 4 dates scheduled, including the conference in June. We teach it on Friday at the conference in June. And that's in Frisco, Texas, at the Embassy Suites complex there. And we're wrapping up kind of we've done 2 weekends in a row. We have
Okay.
another one this next weekend that's going to be in the Abilene, Texas area. Uh, I know a lot of these classes, like our class was in conjunction with our district meeting. And of course, me being heavily involved in the district and me being the certification coordinator for the district, it was just a natural fit to have the class today. The class next weekend is also a district meeting, so I don't know if it's just generally open to the public, but I know those guys in that Abilene area would just be thrilled if you showed up, right? If you're in Texas and you have the means and you're thinking about it, just hop onto the OSFFMA website, get the address, and show up. They're not going to turn you away.
No, and if you're particularly in the Abilene district, which is that 8 or 11?
11.
Okay. If you can show up, show up. There's some awesome departments out there in that district. I know you're going to be there, but if you're in the neighborhood of Abilene and you're not sure what district you're in, bounce in.
Yeah, they're not going to turn you away. I wouldn't have turned anybody away today. But we have a pretty strong open door policy, right? And what? Let me just dive down the rabbit hole, Matt, of
Okay.
what we're trying to teach people and what we're trying to do, right? So we see this gap, and we see departments that do really exceptional jobs on social media, right? They're posting cool stuff. They're getting engagement. They have large followings. Uh, but some of them may have all that, and they're still struggling to find recruits or build a base or raise money or
Public relations.
public relations, right? The people are following them, and they're engaging and they're doing stuff, but it's not paying the dividends, right? It's a public service. They're posting about their events and they're posting about their calls, and but it's not necessarily coming full circle for them. And this is kind of the way to get that to come full circle and actually benefit you as much as it benefits your community.
Now, are you expecting one post and then immediately have 100,000 followers?
No, no, and that's something we go pretty deep into, right? Because
Okay.
you know everybody's looking for that viral post, and how do we get this viral thing, right? And while we've had at Granbury some pretty significant posts that have, I would say, gone viral. I mean,
We have.
if it makes it around the earth in about 24 hours, you did something right.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a pretty heavy litmus
That
test.
is a pretty heavy litmus test.
So,
You can't expect that, right? That's not the normal. That is an anomaly, and that is so far from the norm that you shouldn't even think that that's the way it's going to work.
so what should departments be looking for?
So they should be looking for consistency, right? And they should be looking for people that are consistently interacting with them and engaging with them on social media. And the most important part is people from their communities.
Okay. Elaborate on that a little
So
further.
one of the one of the key things that we talk about is being the trusted source for your community, right? So how do you become the trusted source for your community? Well, you provide good, accurate information about things that affect, good or bad, your community. You give them the truth, you give it to them honest, you give it to them in a way that makes them believe that you are the authority of the knowledge, right? And what does that mean in today's time, right? That's a pretty heavy burden for a department to decide that they're going to become the authority for the knowledge.
Right. So, in carrying that, what exactly how does a department become an authority in knowledge?
So you be the first to report. you be the first to
Report
put
what?
events, things,
Oh,
community
okay.
events, community happenings, road closures, evacuations for wildfires. That's a big
Weather?
thing. Weather. Uh, in our area, the wildfire thing is a pretty significant deal. Like that drove our followership up quite a bit. That that put us into a different category uh of kind of social media, and that didn't happen overnight, right? That doesn't happen overnight. That
No, no,
takes
no.
takes
That
years.
literally took quite short of an indentured servant about 5 years. Eh, five's a little long.
Maybe three to get to the point where
Two
you're
and a
like
half to three.
you're noticed, right? You're
And luck.
and luck, right? Luck
But
plays.
but the kicker is that if you're routinely posting, sooner or later the fish is going to bite.
Right. And even to what we do as a department isn't to the level, like we post and we're active and we do stuff and we have a huge following. I mean, here's where I say your following is huge. Does your following exceed the population of your town or your service area? Once you pass the population of your town or your service area, whether that's 250 or 250,000, you're huge.
Yeah.
You're huge in your market, right? And so as we look at kind of how we do that and what's happening, you you pick up on things, you learn. Like we post a lot of stuff about big wild land. Uh we do post stuff about calls and house fires and different stuff. But that's such a small portion of what we post. We post more community involvement stuff and community things and things that are happening around us. That's where we become that trusted source. And as you develop that and become that trusted source, then people look for you for more and more and more. We fall short a lot of times because we're not that often. They're kind of the litmus test is 3 to 5 posts a day.
Sure.
And I bet we're 3 to 5 posts a month.
Let me look it up. So I found us on Facebook.
Right.
We are 17,000 followers. Okay.
Our town is 12,000.
Correct. Our our featured post is a little old. Our
Pin video is exceptional.
most recent post is from March 22nd.
Yeah.
And it's April.
Yeah.
So
So it's been a few weeks, right?
there's 69 interactions, thumbs up, little heart emojis, and we have 5 shares.
Which is pretty low for us in the world of post.
And then we have March 22nd, March 20th, oddly enough, March 20th, March 17th, March 16th, March 14th, March 13th.
So even as good as we are at what we do, and we become the example for a lot of communities, we have a lot of room to improve and be better, right? And so that's kind of what this class does. It highlights some of the things you can do to improve upon some of that stuff and be better. And it's absolutely one of the most enjoyable, fun classes I've ever taught. And I've taught for over 20 years all aspects of firefighting and rescue and ropes and knots. And I did a small stint where I taught uh, rope rescue, kind of traveled and did a bunch of teaching of rope rescue for probably I don't know, 3 to 5 years. I don't remember exactly how long, but it was a good little stretch where I was doing, uh, every 3 months I was going somewhere and teaching a rope rescue class. And these were pretty serious classes with a lot of students, and of course I wasn't the only instructor. I was teaching with a guy that had like a real serious background of hanging from a rope. Like, he wasn't from the 1800s and was on the gallows, but he was a Army Ranger, right? So he knew a lot, owned a company that did rope work, specifically like skyscraper stuff and tower stuff. Like, he owned this company that guys made their living hanging from a rope.
Right.
So I was in good company, and just kind of my teaching style and my not as much my knowledge base, because I didn't have near the knowledge this guy had, but just kind of my ability to convey a message made me a natural fit with this group that was teaching these classes, and uh actually had a blast doing this stuff. And it's this class borders on the fun we had doing that, right? Even though we're not hanging from a rope and we're doing cool stuff and going down Aussie on a drill tower, we're we're totally in the classroom. We're totally talking about some of the possibly most boring stuff on the earth for some people. And I'm having an absolute ball doing this. I'm looking forward to the upcoming schedule to do some more of these, and what we've got going on. We're doing one at the convention. I'm one of the handful of people that's doing multiple classes at convention, because I'm doing that class and then we're doing the podcast, right?
Right.
And big announcements coming on that. We may make that by the end of the show, but we'll see. We may give some teasers on what we're planning for the convention for that podcast. And absolutely blast. Like, I'm enjoying the reaction from the students and the light bulbs that are going off, and the actual interest in what we're talking about.
Well, I mean, for us, it's the classic pie in the sky. It's for a lack of for a lack of better words, the Mad Hatter gets the pin.
Yeah.
And I just I think a lot of volunteer fire departments forget that it can be fun.
No.
And
Well, there's a point where it becomes not fun, right? When it's not on your terms.
right,
It's an obligation, not a passion or a servitude thing,
sure.
right?
Which a lot of people that are working really hard with their organizations, that's what it becomes. A task, a burden.
Mm-hmm.
And all I can tell you is that it's not that. And if you're not enjoying it, and if you're not at the point of looking forward to the next opportunity, that's okay.
Yeah.
But that's your universal sign you need help. Start recruiting people to the cause.
And that's a big part of my portion of this class, right? I can I can tell you what I like in a post, but I'm stupid. I I can write the biggest run-on sentence on the face of the earth. I can misspell every word in this post. I can shorthand it to death. That's not my part of this class. My part of this class is recruiting, right? How do you use these tools to help you recruit? And one of the stupid things that we've managed to do at Granbury is kind of write the playbook on recruiting in a modern age, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many did we vote on Thursday night?
4.
How many did we do the month before?
2.
And how many months before that?
3.
So there's 2, 3, 5, 9 in
Right.
3 months.
Now, in that 3 months, how many did we lose?
We did lose 4.
We lost 4.
We
So
lost 4.
-4 plus 9, positive net gain of 5.
Right? And 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 there's win and lose and there's come and go, right? There's a certain amount of these people that are going to realize, I misjudged the commitment, or hey, I've been doing this a while and I've got other things I need to do in my life, or hey, this just isn't the fit for me. All these things are fine and normal, and you're not going to keep them all for 100 years, right? I'd argue that you don't want to keep all of them for 100 years. I would argue that once the fire in the belly is gone, it's probably time for those folks to move on.
Yes. That's one of the biggest problems that faces all of our VFD organizations. I would argue all organizations,
It
combo,
doesn't
paid,
matter. Doesn't
doesn't
even matter
matter.
if it's fire service, right? If your Rotary Club is just going through the motions and they don't have a passion for what the mission of your organization is, and it's a burden, it's time to rotate some folks.
Right. It's one of those touchy-feely nostalgia tradition impeding on progress. So while Jesse was sitting there talking, I looked up a number. How many departments in the state of Texas have over 100 members? Okay. Here's the interesting thing with this. When I looked it up, there's no VFDs listed.
I
Okay.
know of a half a dozen.
So the total number is 78, according to the state of Texas. And I know that number's not right. And I don't know, you know, I just, it's kind of sad in a certain retrospect, because I know a lot of chiefs that are fighting the good fight, and you're not alone. You're just not. So figure out how to find each other.
No. One of the things about this class that I try to convey is that, like, it's not unachievable for anybody, right?
Oh,
It's a ratio more than it is a expectation, right? The number for my town of 12,000 is not the same. You don't have to have 9 in 3 months for the town of 1,000. They don't need that many folks, but they need 2 in 3 months or 4 in 3 months.
at least one.
Yeah, it's different, and it's, if you look at it as a continuing goal, and I hear every excuse in the world, and Matt hears them too, about why you can't do something or why you can't get there or why. this doesn't work for us and why that won't work for it. It's more the assumption that something won't work for them
Right.
than it is the actual facts and the data that it won't work.
I'm going to be an ass.
I'm good at it.
It's the excuse.
It's an excuse, right?
It's the excuse. And don't here's the kicker. There's nothing wrong with being tired.
No.
Okay.
We have tired people in our organization.
Oh, so tired that I don't know if it's a defibrillator would bring them back.
Right.
And, the fact of the matter is this: it shouldn't be a salt mine
You know
or
what?
an acid mine.
You know what always brings the tempo, the demeanor, the efforts into a positive light?
What?
Success, right? If you never do anything different to try to have some success, how are you ever going to have a positive outlook on what you're doing?
Right.
Like brains exploded there, right? Because it if you're continuing to do the same things over and over and you're not reaching out of the little comfort zone in the box and the 72 other cliches we can come up with for this, right? How do you expect to ever achieve a different result?
So I'm going to give the most half-assed answer that you could have.
Well, half-ass two things, and that's almost like whole-assing one thing.
Almost. Well, you're only volunteer.
Right.
That's all you have to do. You tried. Really? Like, that's not offensive in itself? Where you're like, how much time, energy, sacrifice, personal contribution have you put into it to be summed up as your only volunteer? That statement blows my mind. I've never understood that.
Right.
I've never gotten that.
It's not that you're only volunteer, right?
Or in spite of.
Or in spite of, right? It's we can do all these great things because we are volunteer.
Right. I don't know. It's a mindset.
Yeah. Kim comes out of the world of not the fire service, right?
Right.
Husband's a career firefighter. Like she's touching on that world. She's worked for as a PIO or a communications director for several cities and counties and stuff. She's got some background. There's she's touching on the things, but the passion that she exudes for the volunteer fire service and the realization of the importance and the necessity of it puts her in a place to where she's doing awesome things because it's what she knows, right? And
And it's a rare thing.
I'll
I've
brag on her all day.
I've encountered a handful of people that are not volunteer firefighters, but do have a particular connection to a volunteer organization. And it's incredible at how much they personally dump into physically, mentally, I would even argue spiritually, into the success of that volunteer organization. And I I can't sit there and not be conflicted a little bit where it's like, why on earth? How does this person that's not even on a department care so much about this, but not have the support of the greater network around them? I saw it for years with our Jesse screwing with me. Uh with a office secretary who ultimately became an administrator, office admin. And I can't believe how much that lady dumped into the organization. And the whole time, the chief just sat there and fought her tooth and nail all the way through. You'd be surprised how much coming into this with a positive opinion and outlook actually has an effect on the organization.
Yeah. I'm scrolling Facebook and you know, God, it's coming out of teaching a class like this and seeing the things that are being posted and uh I've got a department that was there today posting today marks a fantastic day at the SFMA District 16 spring meeting, and they certainly tagged us in it, right? And then a heartfelt appreciation to everyone involved in planning and training, and to the De Leon Volunteer Fire Department, also tagged. And truly inspired event, hashtag SFFMA, hashtag Texas Fire Service, hashtag Heart of a Volunteer, right? Tremendous. That I'm gonna say this, the person that made this post sat in my class today, right? I don't know that, but I'm assuming, because there's a lot of things that we talked about in that class that had to do with that post, but like, they're getting it. Like, it's making a difference. Like, that post may be the thing that triggers one more member. That post may be the thing that triggers that $1,000 donation. That post may be the thing that triggers, like, something in that department to be better tomorrow than they were today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to sound like kind of a colossal ass, but every now and then you have a person join a department that legitimately wants the best for the organization and the citizens that they protect and the entity that supports them, whether it be a city or a county. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard horror stories of that person getting burned to the ground because that's not how we do it. That's not what we do. Or, worst case scenario, pipe down, retard. You need to know your place. And it's like, what are we talking about here? You have legitimate people trying to make the organization better. Why would you not let them try? I don't understand it.
Because it's not your idea, it's not your thought, it's not the way we do things here,
Right.
right? It's the 100 different reasons to not be better. And I think it's it's easier. It's easier to do nothing than it is to do something. It's easier to complain about it than it is to fix the problem. It's easier to be part of the problem than it is to be the solution. And we're lazy, inherently lazy. Yeah, I've gone through about 20 different posts today from today's event, and it's fabulous, right? We went off the beaten path. We typically hold our events somewhere where there's a fire training field, somewhere where there's the ability for lots of students and lots of uh, hands-on training, and we chose to go, frankly, to the middle of nowhere
Right.
in a very small community and work with that community to have our event in an effort to bring it to people that truly needed the event, departments that truly needed the event, for the purpose of inspiring those departments to engage and be part of the solution and not part of
Right.
the naysayers. And I'd I'd put it at like excess on the 10th level success. Right? Was it the highest turnout we've ever had? No.
No.
Was it the grandest, most in-depth training we've ever hosted? No. But the right people that needed to hear the right message, to be at the right place at the right time, were all there.
Right.
And meet your audience where they are, right? We went to where they were to involve them, to get them excited and engaged. And I guarantee you, when we go somewhere else next time, they're going to show up. They may not all show up. Sometimes it's tough to empty your town, but they're going to show up and they're going to take part and they're going to be involved. And that's all this is about. That's all this podcast is about.
Right.
Show up,
Trying to help each other
show up and be involved.
and understand you're not by yourself.
No, not in the least. Matt, I think we can just about put a fork in this.
Thank God.
Yeah, I think we've talked about the important parts. I think we could drone on for 2 or 3 hours about all the different cool things that we got to do and see today. You taught classes today. We didn't even talk about that, right?
They're insignificant and minuscule.
Right? Yeah, yeah, sort of. Yeah, some smoke reading, some scene size up stuff. Just good, wholesome classes everybody needs, right? Kind of two sides of the coin, right?
Right.
You're developing the skills of firefighters, and we're developing the skills of the department to all come together on a common goal.
I'm here for today and you're here for tomorrow.
That maybe. I honestly, and I've said it 2 or 3 times, absolutely the one of the most enjoyable classes I've ever taught. Proud to be a part of it. Uh, Glad that there was enough vision between Kim and myself to put something together for this.
Right.
She deserves 100% of the accolades. I'm worthless and useless and basically just show up for comedic relief. She's done the hard work on the presentations and all that stuff. So, you know, I wrote some stuff down once, but I know she listens. She does the SFFMA Hot Takes podcast.
Right.
I've guested on it. You'll guest on it sometime soon, hopefully. I know she's planning some stuff at convention. She's gonna do maybe a couple episodes. Maybe we'll bounce into one of those. I know she's got Chief Lasky planned
Okay. That's good.
for the convention. He's also teaching a class. Uh, if y'all don't know who Rick Lasky is, shame on you. Definitely one of the good guys in the fire service. Pretty solid. Oh, look, we got protesters. That's normal for us
Yeah.
on a Tuesday night. But definitely good positive message. He brings a lot to the table in the messaging category. Also exceptionally good at social media and marketing. But good stuff. I think we should drop some hints on our potential guest. Like we're 99% sure this is going to happen, but we're planning to have Mike from Heroes Next Door as our guest on the podcast at the convention. And if you're not familiar with Heroes Next Door on YouTube, you need to bounce into the YouTubes and go
Check it
check
out.
that out, right? He's great, great channel. Like if if you're if you're somebody sitting on the fence and thinking about becoming a volunteer or a fireman, career firefighter, paramedic, law enforcement, somewhere in the emergency services, there's a lot to take away from that channel, right? We as firefighters watch it because we want to see the shiny trucks and the lights and the different things that he highlights on there, but that channel's truly about stories and people and their commitment to their communities.
Right.
And that's the important thing to highlight. And it goes right into what we're talking about and our commitment to the communities and the people and the stories of the communities and the stories of the departments and how these stories intertwine into making everything better. So looking forward to that. He's committed to making this journey to Texas from Pennsylvania. So hop onto his channel, watch his videos. He has a channel membership thing. So if you've got a couple extra nickels, maybe join his channel. That helps him fund these trips.
Right.
Which is vitally important, right? It's not free to come to Texas. It's not free to come do these videos for him. He's spending a lot of money out of his pocket, and granted, YouTube pays him, pennies on the barrelhead. He gets 1/100th of a penny for everybody that watches a video, but you can bounce in there, show him some support. We'd appreciate it. We appreciate him considering coming to hang out with us schmucks
Yep.
and spend some time with us and do the podcast and there's some other things in the works for him to do while he's down in Texas, but definitely do that. You got anything else, Matt?
I don't. We had a long day.
It's been a long day.
We've accomplished some things and stuff. And with that said, you can always reach out to us at ittasteslikeburningcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to go to the YouTube channel and search for it. It Tastes Like Burning. Give us a like, click, and subscribe. Ring the bell. And you can always search for merch on It Tastes Like Burning on
Printify.
Printify.
Yeah.
And you can find us on Patreon also. With all of that said, this is Matt.
This is Jesse.
Appreciate your time.